How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? Stiletto and Juno coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Little Juno wants to be in this video. She wants to be in this video. How's my girl doing, huh? That's my co-host Juno. And this one is for, let me get my pad here. This is a special request video for at Mr. Pocket Full of Steel. At Mr. Pocket Full of Steel. Hey Stiletto, I have a question. Have you ever done a video, maybe not titled compression lock, but do you have a vid where you show that the lock, show that lock specifically? Maybe give it a breakdown, close up, and your opinion on its functionality. So that's what we're going to try to do today. But one thing I noticed, it's going to be kind of hard to do this video because all my compression lock folders have embedded liners. And so it's going to be hard to let Juno get down there. I'll see you, sweetie. I'll see you. Let Grandpa do the video. You gonna let me do the video? Huh? You gonna let me do the video? Are you gonna let me do the video, kiddo? Yes, my girl. Yes, my girl. Okay. Oh, you just determined to be in the video. She's trying to take over. Okay. I'll give you kisses. You just want some kisses, huh? Okay, sweetie. That's my girl. All right. So, this was the one that I wanted to do the video on, but then I noticed that, see, here's the compression lock. And the way it works is that when the knife opens, it pops into like a little slot that's held in by the stop pin, and let me see, and the actual blade tang itself. It sort of gets wedged in there. I saw another video done by Spyderco where they show exactly how it works. And the reason why it's kind of hard for me to do it, people, is because I don't want to pull the scale off, because once you pull the scale off, then it gets sort of loose back here, because this is sort of like press fitted in, and you can open it and slide it back, but when they got the embedded liners, you can't separate the liner from the you can't slide the liner back without moving the you can't separate the scale from the liner. So it's kind of hard to show exactly how it works. And that's what I was hoping I would be able to do. And I looked at some of my other ones. My other Spyderco compression lock folders are all made the exact same way, where they got embedded stainless steel liners. This is a sliver axe, one of my favorites. Now, let's see, this is a 3.5 inch blade, almost a 4 inch blade if I remember right. The cutting edge is almost 4 inches. Cutting edge is about 3 and, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, about 3 5/8. Which is a pretty good sized blade, for cutting edge. But when you measure it to the scale, it's like 3.5 inches. Actually, it's under 3.5 inches. It's 3 3/8. But I just want to show you, because I always comment on, I like knives with, a little bit longer handles and a little bit bigger blades because they fit my hand a little bit better. And lately, a lot of people have been getting on my case about that because they want me to show smaller knives and stuff like that. But I don't really buy smaller knives because I like knives that fit my hand a little bit better, where I have some of the pommel sticking out the back. That's a tool too, a less than lethal way to use a knife too is when you have a pommel sticking out the back. That's an impact tool, just like this one. You got a little bit of an impact tool, so you can do other things besides just stab and slash. And when it's like this, this is a great little cutting tool and stuff like that. But always remember that knives that I choose them for self-defense also. It's not, I use them for, my intentions up with them are a little bit more than just being a everyday cutting tool. But see, I don't have any pommel sticking out the back because my hand's too big for it. That's what I mean by my hands are too big. I don't have big giant hands like some people have been saying. I just like to have, like a little bit of pommel sticking out the back. See, whereas on this one, I got that. And I find that always nice with like a 4-inch blade, 3 3/4 to about a 4-inch blade. Usually the handles are big enough for me where I do have, they fit my hand the way I like them to fit my hand. And that's the way I like the knife to fit my hand. I like to have, full, like to have my hand in the proper grip where your hand's supposed to be, but still have a little bit of pommel sticking out the back so I have a impact tool also. Okay, sweetie, you gotta get down, kiddo. I know you just want to be all in the video. I know. You gotta get down though, kitty. Okay. So this is the amalgam. You just determined. I'm gonna get you, Juno. You gotta get down, sweetie. No. Let Grandpa do this. I'm fixing to pull apart a knife, okay? I don't want you jumping up here when the parts are all over the place. These are like my favorite. These are all my favorite Spydercos. This one I like is a work knife. And as a work knife, I don't really so much worry about it as being like a self-defense tool. But, I carried the mess out of this one when I first got it because I really like the way it fits my hand. I really feel like it's a super safe knife because even if the lock was to give out, this knife's not going to fold in on your hand because of the way the handle's made. And I like the Spyderco leaf style, this got a little bit of dirt on it. I like the Spyderco leaf style blade or spear point blade. I think it's a really awesome design for like if you're using your knife for like food prep also, like I do with my work knives. My work knives also help me prepare my lunch and stuff like that. Make a sandwich, cut salami or whatever, and or cheese or whatever I want to have. So I like to have this type of knife at work. And it's also great for opening up packages and boxes and things like that. But that's the purpose of these knives for me. I know a lot of people always want you to have the same purpose that they have, but I buy knives that fit my purpose. Because I actually use my knives. And it's true that I have a lot of knives and that, I don't use them until they get worn out or anything like that because I always get another one that I always want to review and try out or whatever. There's always another one. And out of these, the first ones I tried out were the Mannixes. And then this one came next. That one came next. And then this one came next. And then I got the Chinook's not out here. The Chinook's in the safe. These two stay out. They don't go in the safe because I like to carry them sometimes. And this is the one I'm carrying right now, for a month straight. I've been carrying it ever since I received it. Absolutely love it. But anyway, I got something for this one too. Let me take care of this real quick. Already opened up the package. Came from Esty. Remember I told you I was going to get another lanyard hole plug. Got the exact same one that was in this one. This one came off of this one. It came from Esty, you guys can see. That's who I got it from. It's the second time I purchased from this person. And they got it to me really quick this time, like just a little bit over a week. So I'm really pleased with the shipping. That's the way it comes. I'll read you the little card. Official shop, let me see. Model PC-S8. Material stainless steel. Birth date 2023. www.callumkingart.com. www.callumkingart.com. In case you guys want to get the same product. That's who I bought it from. Second time I purchased from this person, and the shipping and handling is awesome. I purchased other things on Etsy and they take like 2 or 3 months sometimes to get. This guy actually sends them out to you really pretty quick. So I would recommend this seller. Where these come from, I don't know. Let me see, are they made in the United States, let's say? Nope. It doesn't say where it's made or anything. I would assume that's, it's probably a Chinese product. I don't know, it might be a U.S. product. I'm not sure. I shouldn't say it's Chinese if I don't know. But wherever it comes from, they work, and I like them. The reason why I like them because I don't have to pull apart the whole knife to assemble it. All it is just a little screws onto the outside. Use a little bit of blue Loctite like I'm doing. Put it in the hole, the lanyard hole. Get it started. It's a T10. And that's all there is to it. So I got another plug back in that one. Exact same thing. And that works for me. That's what I like. Cause I'm not a person who uses lanyards on pocket knives, people. I don't like anything hanging out my pocket. You know me, I like to keep things concealed. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do with this. Let's go ahead and close these up for right now. All right. Come over here. Let's go ahead and take this one apart. I'm going to try to show you as best as I can. It's not going to be like a really... I'll leave a link to the other site where they, on Spyderco, where they show you, exactly how it works and stuff like that. I promised you this video, so I like to keep my promises. Because I'm not going to pull the scale off of here, because once these are press fitted on, and once you pull the scale off, they don't fit the same anymore. And I like these scales. I don't plan on changing these scales. These scales are really nice. They're a black peel ply. Let me see what we got here. There we go. See what I'm saying? If you pull this off, then it comes off easily every time, and I don't want it to do that. I want it to fit like it, like it does, brand new. Yeah, it won't let me pull off. And I can't separate it. Let me pull the blade off. I can't separate it. I don't want to bend it or anything. So I'm not going to be able to really show you exactly how it works. But there's the compression lock itself right there. And the way it works is that when the blade's in here, it fits into here like that. It locks into there. See how it wedges in there? And that in itself, I think, makes it more stronger than a liner lock. Is this a super strong lock? No. Because I've seen them fail. I've seen, Andrew, this is one of the locks that Andrew Demko tested. And like this one too, he made this one fail too. And so it's not a super strong lock. Does it work very well? Does it function well? Yes. And in order to make it fail, you do have to use force. Andrew Demko used, dead weight. Then weights hanging off of it to make it fail. So I got a part. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up and re-lube it. Yeah, the liner fits in that little groove right there, right here. I wish there was a better way for me to show you this, but the way these are made, they're made with embedded liners and they're press fitted into place. So it's kind of hard to really give you like a detailed look of it. Like I could with a triad lock or something like that. So that's the way it is. When it's a closed position. Then when it pops out, it goes right into here. And that's where it locks into place. Just like that. When it's closed, and you can close it, open it up, it pops into place. Locks it into place. And the thing that keeps it from rocking back and forth is the stop pin. The stop pin goes right here. Right here is the stop pin. Goes in right here. Maybe I can show you like with the stop pin, huh? Let's see if I can take the stop pin out. That's pressing into place too. Feels that doesn't want to come out either, people. So I'm just gonna leave it in there. The right screw. Well, it is moving a little bit. Maybe I can get it out. There we go. Give you a little better demonstration of it. Uh-oh, dropped on the floor. Put it in on this side. Okay. Try and line up the hole. Pretend like this is the pivot. Let's see, that's how it fits. And that's how basically how it works, right there. So if you're hanging weight off of it, in order to make it fail by hitting it on the back, on the spine, it's going to be pretty hard. If I remember right, the one that Dimco tested, Andrew Dimco tested, it failed pretty quick. But I can't see how it would feel really quick, actually, to tell you the truth, though. It looks like it'd be a pretty good lock. I think of this type of lock though as being like a light duty lock. I don't think of it as being like a heavy duty lock type like a triad folder. You know, triad locks, you know, they're in their own league basically. To me, a triad folding lock that Andrew Dimko designed from the lock back by putting a stop pin in it and making the lock faces fit even better and fit deeper and at different angles, so that, you know, it's really hard to come apart unless you physically unlock it. You know, his design is just, it's a work of art. It's a, you know, to me, it's the best lock for a self-defense folder, a triad lock. But I also like other lock types. Why do I like other lock types? Because other lock types are more fun. You know what I mean? The compression lock is a very fun lock. It's fun to use and it's dependable. You know, it's not a triad lock. You know, I'll never think of these as being as strong as a triad folding lock or anything like that. But they are a strong lock. You know, they're strong enough. And if you got a knife like this, for instance, where even if the lock gives out, it's not going to fold in on your hand. That's one thing I really like about the amalgam and the sliver axe. There's no way that this lock, if you're holding it properly, this knife properly, there's no way that this lock's going to fold in on your hand. You just can't. So, you know, it doesn't really need the super strong lock like a triad folder to still be a safe knife. And that's my concern with folding knives. I like knives that are safe. I like knives because I've been cut up by knives before. And one thing that you don't want is a knife that will fold in on your hand and cut you up. So even these are safe. I like knives with big front finger choils, because usually when a knife has a big front finger choil, when you're holding the knife like you're supposed to, and like a nice hammer grip, let's say if you're in a self-defense mode and you're holding it in a hammer grip like this, even if you hit the spine of this and the lock was to give out, you know, somehow, it's still not going to cut up my hand. So I'm still in action. I'm still in combat because I'm not wounded from my knife. I can just lock it back out. That to me is a safe knife. That's what I mean when I'm talking about safe knives. There's a lot of knives that are made by very famous manufacturers and designers and stuff like that, and they're very expensive, use super duper steels and high-end materials and stuff like that. But to me, they're not safe, because if this was to happen, the knife will fold in on your hand and cut you up. And they call them tactical folders. To me, a tactical folder needs to not only be able to use it, be set up for a tactical situation, be fast and strong and all that. It also needs to be safe. Because you don't want to be using something when you're in a combat situation or a fight or whatever, and you're fighting for your life and stuff like that. You don't want your own personal tool to hurt you. That's my point. That's my whole point about these kind of knives. And that's the reason why I like these Spydercos. I don't like every Spyderco, but I do like any Spyderco that is safe to use. If a Spyderco is safe to use, I don't care if it's made in Japan, Taichung, Taiwan, or Golden Earth, Colorado. It doesn't matter to me, or even in, because I know they got the cheapest line. The Bird in China. I don't have any of those. Not interested in that. But I do like these are Taichung, Taiwan manodels. And I also do have models from Seiki, Japan. The power locks that I have. But and all my Manixes are from the United States. And the military tools are made in the United States too. But this knife right here is safe. Besides, the ball bearing lock to me is stronger than the compression lock. If I was to pick a lock I thought was stronger, I'd say that the ball bearing lock is stronger than the compression lock. I've seen the Atlas lock hold more than a ball bearing lock though, as far as like weight hangs and stuff. When Andrew Dimko was testing these, he tested a Manix a Mannix too, but it wasn't the XL. But it was like the one that was smaller than this, and I think it failed under 200 pounds. I want to say like 138 pounds or something like that. And what happened on it was that the screw that holds the stop pin up here gave out. But like I said, even if that was to give out, those are safe knives too. It's not gonna hurt your hand. And 138 pounds is not, 135 pounds is not something to scoff at. That's actually a lot of weight. A lot of weight for because just about all your liner locks, it doesn't matter who makes them, they usually fail under 100 pounds. Tie-Light 6 is the only one I've ever seen hold like 145 pounds or something like that in the Dimco test. But these are great knives too. To me, a real strong lock type holds over 200 pounds. And most Atlas locks from Benchmade will hold 200 to 400 pounds. Now I'm talking about for the black class knives, the ones that are made for military and emergency response people and law enforcement. They're the black class ones. They all have thick stainless steel liners, full liners and stuff like that. And to make an Atlas lock and like a ball bearing lock and everything else like that, you need to have strong liners. That's sort of like the downside to them compared to like a triad lock. Triad lock, you don't need to have strong liners because the actual strength is in the thickness of the blade tang and the lock bar and the strength of the stop pin and the pivot. If you got all those things covered, then you're gonna have a very strong knife. Because a lot of their knives, they just have G10 handle scales without any kind of steel liners, and they beat all these knives with the steel liners and weight hangs. I don't know. That's a good thing to do too. Is go look at all the old cold steel Andrew Dimco weight hang tests and spine whacking tests and stuff like that, and you can see what I'm talking about. I used to watch all of them back in the day. But this is a beautiful knife. And this knife has a handle just like a 8020S. The shape of the handle is just like the 8020S. To me, it's one of my most favorite handles. It's super comfortable. This one's super comfortable too. The only thing I wish I had, I just wish it was a little bit longer so that I'd have a pommel sticking out the back, and this would be like one of my favorites too. This is an awesome knife. Great knives. Spyderco makes great knives. But like I said, not all of their knives are great though. I really don't care for the, no, I'm not gonna get into all that. Doesn't matter, that's more of a matter of preference. What I was gonna say is I don't really care for the back locks, because their back lock's just like a standard back lock. And the only kind of back locks I've been into since the triad back locks have been invented is the triad back locks. I know other back locks are really strong too, but the only problem that I have with back locks is that eventually, if you fidget with them a lot, eventually you will wear down the lock a little bit, the lock face, where it connects with the tang of the blade, and you start getting up and down play. That's what always happened to me in like all my buck knives and buck 110s and things like that I used to carry back in the day. So back locks are very strong too, but they do wear. They don't self adjust as they wear. That's what I don't like. Because people have asked me, I'll come out and try out the Spyderco back locks, and that's the reason why. It's nothing to do with Spyderco. It's just any back lock in general. I really don't care for, unless it's a triad lock. All right, people. Well, that's about all I can show you on this one. I hope that helps you out a little bit. In my opinion, this is a great knife. I would call it a great knife. It's one of my favorites. All right, let's go ahead and lube it back up and put it back together. Militech one, lithium gun grease. I use it on all my knives and guns. Just like to put a light coat light coat on the washers. And this one, let's see if I can put a little bit of on here without having to. Because one thing about these, if you take this part apart, is you got to get it super flush and super right, otherwise your blade will be off center when you put it back together. And that can be a little bit tricky sometimes. I don't feel like going through all that. So I'm just going to wipe some grease on it. Instead of taking it all apart. Do a little dab of oil. Miltech 1 oil, gun oil, lithium-based gun oil. Works good on motorcycle parts too. A little bit of grease on this track right here. The track is for your detent ball. Let's see if I get it back together now. I wonder if it's going to want me to assemble it from the other side. So I'm sort of looking at. Fit it in there. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. I absolutely love the military too, though. Everybody always asks me, how come I didn't get the paramilitary too? And just like for the same reason I explained, I like having a pommel. And the military too is not a cheap knife, so I'm not willing to, because I don't have the ability to see it before I purchase it, and so I just wasn't willing to risk a couple $100 on something that I may not end up liking. And what I mean by not end up liking, I mean not fit in my hands. Because this is basically the same thing as a paramilitary too. The military too is exactly the same thing. It's just that the paramilitary too, I would call it if this was a cold steel knife, I would call it the large version, and I would call this the extra large version. But they're basically the same thing. So I don't know why people make a big deal about that. Maybe they can't see that. But to me, they're the same knife, just one's bigger than the other. And as you guys may know, that I like bigger knives for the reasons I've stated. I'm not saying anything's better than anything else. I say get what fits you and what works for you. That's why I always tell people. Don't get what works for somebody else, get what works for you. Especially when you get into these expensive knives like Spydercos and Benchmades and things like that. With cold steels, that cost under $100, I'll take a chance. You know what I mean? Because it's not that big of a loss. If it doesn't fit my hand the way I want it to fit my hand, it's not that big of a deal. Because that wasn't that big of an expense. But when I start spending, because I work hard for my money, people. When I start spending like over $100 and getting up $200, $300 in that range, I don't like to get something unless I know for sure I'm gonna like it. And that's the reason why you'll see me not say a lot of negative things about my more expensive knives, because I looked at them and I looked at them and I watched videos on them. And if I had a chance, you know, I try to try them out first. You know, if I know somebody that has one that will let me try it out first. Like when I got my 8020S, you know, I looked at it, you know, because I didn't really want to spend that much money on a knife. But I really liked the way it functioned. And to me, the 8020S is a very strong knife. Let's see, there we go. A little bit too tight on the pivot. See, no up, no side to side, no up and down. It's a super solid knife. And this knife I've been carrying and using and fidgeting with all day long for a long time now. And absolutely love it, people. This is an excellent knife. Excellent knife. I super highly recommend these. If you like Spyderco compression locks, I would say get this one. Or, you know, get the paramilitary too, whichever one that, you know, fits your hand the best. That's my advice. If you've been on the fence and thinking about it, I would tell you it's a solid knife, because it doesn't come loose. The pivots don't come loose. It stays together. It's very well made. And it's a very useful knife too. If you want a knife that you're going to actually be using, you know, for cutting tasks and things like that, I highly recommend the paramilitary. Not paramilitary 2 or the military 2. I think they're both, you know, I've never owned a paramilitary 2 or handled a paramilitary 2, but if it's like this one, I could say, you know, with confidence that it's a great knife. I bought this one on eBay. Somebody was asking me where I bought it from. I got it on eBay, and on my videos, if you look on at the bottom of the video, there's like a section that says Show More. Click on the Show More section. I always put down the details. Lots of times I'll put down the details, especially like when I get brand new knives or something like that. I like to put down the specs, and I get off of, like, I don't know, like Knife Center's website or whatever website where I bought it from or whatever, and put down the specs, and I put down the price I paid for it and where I bought it from. And I usually leave a link too to the page where I bought it. And I think that's what I did for this one too on the videos I made of this one. There it is there, perfectly centered. Excellent knife, people. I highly, 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 highly recommend this knife. It's one of my favorites. It's become one of my favorites. These 4 right here are my favorites on Spyderco so far that I've tried. These are my favorite Spydercos. The Chinook, I didn't really care for that much. I think if you look back in old videos where I'd show that one, I'd tell you the reason why. The Chinook wasn't my favorite. That's the only one I've tried so far that you know, stays in the safe. I don't leave it out. All these knives, these 4 right here, stay out. This one's been getting carried every day. This one's been carried every day when I first got this one too. This one's been carried every day when I first got this one too. I've been carrying this one a lot this year. I didn't carry it last year because I got these 2 last year, and this was the one that I carried all the time. But I like this one too, and I've been carrying this one this year. This one's in my rotation drawer right now. Absolutely love it. And they're all perfect. These are all perfect knives. The amalgam's not a cheap knife either. These are like around 200 bucks. This is like 170 something, 180 or something like that. None of these are cheap knives. So, you know, always with a knife that, you know, to me that costs this much, I'd say always check it out first. This one was $175, but then I got the scales for it, and I put a lot of effort into polishing it and stuff like that. And And what else? The lanyard plug. Oh, and the titanium ball cage. It has a titanium ball cage from Fly Titanium. Because I don't care for the plastic ball cages. I just don't like the way they feel. I'd rather have the titanium ball cage. This is one of my favorite knives. I super duper love this one. This one and my probably my 8020S are probably my. They're all, you know. Well, I would say this one's in my top 5 now too. Because I'm really digging this one. I like the size of it. It's nice and long. See, it's even longer than the Manix 2 XL. The handle's longer and the blade is longer. I think this is like a 3 3/4 inch blade or something like that. Let me measure it out. Yeah, about 3 3/4, and this one's a true 4-incher. Yep. And the handle length on this one is longer too. The handle length is 5.5 inches. And this one is just a touch over, like 5 1/8. Total length on this one, 9 inches. Total length on this one, 9.5 inches. These are all awesome blades though. These are all awesome. This one's an excellent knife for work if you don't want to intimidate people or anything like that. But like I said, I like a little bit longer handle. The handle's too short for me. But you know, it's in proportion with the blade though, so you know, it's a beautiful knife. And I know the handle looks kind of weird the way it has this big groove right here, but that's what makes it so safe. This is a super safe knife. I think if you have like smaller hands and so you can have a little bit of impact tool sticking out the back, this would be a perfect knife for you. The sliver axe. And you know, I like flippers because flippers protect your fingers. You know, with the flipper, you don't need the front finger choil because that's not gonna fold in on your hand, people. I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. It's not gonna fold in on your hand. It just pops right back into place. Super safe. Same thing goes for this one. It's not gonna fold in on your hand. But this one even has a finger choil though, so like if it went past there, so it still wouldn't cut you because the finger choil keeps it from cutting you. So it's double safe. But that's not gonna get past. Your finger would have to get broken for this to fold in on your hand. The amalgam. And the amalgam feels really good in hand. The only thing that I don't like about this is that I like these kind of blade styles. That's one thing I like about the Spydercos. I like the leaf style blade. It's like a spear point / dagger. I don't know. You know, it looks pretty menacing. It looks like it'd be a good stabber and a good slasher. So I think they make a good self-defense. I don't want to get gory or whatever, but I think it'd make a great self-defense knife. This blade on the amalgam to me is more utilitarian looking. Looks more like a utility knife. They're all make, you know, great utility knives, but this one looks like it would be the least, you know, wouldn't be as good at stabbing as like these others. This one and this one especially. This one looks like a great stabber. And reverse grip, oh man, feels really good. This is one of the ones that feels the best in reverse grip, the sliver axe. I think this is an awesome self-defense folder. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. If this one had a 4-inch blade, I think it'd be one of my favorites too. But this feels really good. Feels good as a cutting tool. Feels good as a self-defense tool. The reverse grip though is not my favorite for reverse grip because the way that the pommel's shaped, it's like, you know, it pulls me back away from here. So like now if the blade was to give out, I would get cut. If I hold it down here with just my thumb on it, then I'm safe. You just have to be aware of that, just with the tip of your thumb. This is a very nice knife, though. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. This one feels good in reverse grip. Feels very comfortable in reverse grip. And you're still safe. Even if it was a lot to give out, you're still safe. I just like this handle. The shape of this handle is really awesome to me. It's good for, utility uses. It's good for self-defense uses. I like knives with finger grooves, so it works as a finger guard and keeps your hand from sliding forward on the blade. All right, people. I probably rambled on too long now. But anyway, this was for let me see. This video was requested to me by at Mr. Pocket Full of Steel. At Mr. Pocket Full of Steel. Hey Stiletto, I have a question. Have you ever done a video, maybe not titled compression lock, but do you have a vid where you show that lock specifically and maybe give a breakdown and close up and your opinion on its functionality? Myself, I'm unfamiliar with them. I've never held one in my hand or seen one close up. Having said that, in my mind, I always felt like it's weird, a weird type of lock to have, and I never wanted to pull the trigger on one without knowing for sure. You pinch it, correct? You pinch. That's right. You do pinch the lock. Is there enough room at the top if you have big hands and fingers? Yes, there is. If I ever grabbed a Spyderco, it would no doubt be the military. Black blade, I'm like you. I like a big knife. He has a smiley face. Great video always. So that one's for you, buddy. This one's for you. At Mr. Pocket Full of Steel. At Mr. Pocket Full of Steel. Hope this answers your questions. That's like the best I can do in showing you the compression lock. And I hope I answer your questions. To me, these compression lock folders so far, the sliver axe, the amalgam, and the military two, those are the ones I have that I like. I also have another one called the Chinook. I wouldn't get the Chinook. I'd pass on the Chinook if I was you. But if you want a knife that's great in hand, this one might be a little bit too small for your hands if you have big hands. The sliver axe, because I feel it's a little bit too small for my hands, but I still like it. I think it's a great knife. The amalgam for me, I don't know how big I wear extra large motorcycle gloves, but they come from different countries, so extra large is probably really like a large. But this is how the amalgam fits my hand. I have a little bit of pommel out the back that I can use for an impact tool if I need to in a combat situation. And this is how the military 2 fits my hand. Look at that. You got plenty of I got plenty of handle on this one. This is what I like. I like a big pommel out the back. I like the finger groove in the front so I could choke up on it for cutting tasks. This one serves all my purposes. If you have big hands, I would definitely recommend the military 2. If you want to try out a Spyderco compression lock, this is the one I would say get. Get the military 2. Because I have, fairly nice sized hands. I don't want to say I have extra large hands or anything like that. But, I weigh like 260 pounds. I'm 5'11", almost 6 feet. And this one works perfectly for me. I think it's the one that fits my hand the best out of all the compression lock folders I have. So for me, this is my number 1 compression lock folder. This one's also a great choice too if you want to try out another Spyderco besides a compression lock. I would say try out the ball bearing lock and get the Manix 2 XL. This one fits my hand beautifully. Beautifully. This is another great knife. So these are the two I would recommend the most, and I'd also recommend this one, the amalgam. Amalgam, if you like flippers, this is the one to get. All right, people. I'm gonna cut it off there. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm gonna put this one out tonight. It's gonna be coming out late tonight. Might want to see it tomorrow, because I'm sure by the time it downloads and everything, it's gonna be real late tonight. But anyway, peace out, Stiletto. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Have a good night. Peace out, Stiletto.